am 104 years old. Do you know how many times I have been in love? Once. Just once. I was married to my husband Thomas for 64 years before the Lord called him home. 64 years. That is longer than most of you have been alive. I see you young people today, and my heart breaks for you. Truly it does. I watch you scrolling on your little screens, looking for love like you are shopping for shoes. You treat love like a disposable napkin. You use it, wipe your mouth, and throw it away when it gets a little messy. You swipe left. You swipe right. You ghost people, whatever that means. It seems to mean you are too cowardly to say goodbye. You have infinite choices, thousands of faces at your fingertips, but you are starving for connection. You are lonely in a crowded room. You come to me, sitting on my porch, and you ask with tears in your eyes, "Miss Hattie, how do I find the one? Miss Hattie, how do I know if he's right for me? Miss Hattie, why does love hurt so much? Miss Hattie, why does everyone leave? Sit down, child. Pull up a chair. I am going to make you some tea, and then I am going to tell you the truth, the brutal, unvarnished truth about love. And I warn you, it is not what you see in the movies. It is not what you see on Instagram. It is not fireworks. It is not butterflies in your stomach that last forever. It is not a fairy tale where you ride off into the sunset and never argue again. That is a lie. That is a fantasy sold to you by people who want your money. They want to sell you the wedding dress, the honeymoon, the diamond ring. They don't want to tell you about the Tuesday morning when the baby is screaming, the bank account is empty, and your husband has bad breath. But that Tuesday morning, that is where real love lives. Real love is not a firework. Real love is a fireplace. It keeps you warm, it keeps you alive, but you have to chop the wood. You have to carry the heavy logs through the snow. You have to tend the fire every single day. You have to get soot on your hands. You have to clear out the ashes. If you stop working, the fire goes out and you freeze. Most of you want the warmth without the chopping. You want the destination without the journey. You want the happily ever after without the once upon a time struggle. And that is why your relationships are failing. That is why the divorce rate is so high. That is why you are depressed and anxious and alone. First, you need to destroy this modern idol you worship, the myth of the one. There is no such thing. There is no magical person out there who was perfectly designed by God to complete you, to understand your every thought, to never annoy you. That is a romantic delusion. There are only imperfect people, broken people, weird people, annoying people. Thomas, let me tell you about Thomas. He was a good man, but he was not a prince. He chewed his food too loud. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It used to drive me crazy. He forgot to put the cap on the toothpaste for 64 years. Every morning I wiped up the paste. He snored like a freight train derailed in the bedroom. He was stubborn as a mule. He had a temper. If I had been looking for perfection, if I had been looking for the one who checked every box on a list, I would have left him in the first week. But I wasn't looking for a perfect person. I was looking for a partner. Do you understand the difference? A fan stands on the sidelines and cheers when you are winning. A fan loves you when you look good, when you have money, when you are happy. But when you lose, when you get sick, when you get ugly, the fan leaves. A partner is different. A partner is someone who grabs a shovel when you are in a hole. A partner is someone who stays when the house is burning down. A partner is someone who sees your darkness, your shame, your weakness, and says, "I am not going anywhere." You are looking for a mirror. You want someone who reflects you, who agrees with you, who makes you feel good all the time. You want validation, not intimacy. That is narcissism disguised as romance. A true partner challenges you. Thomas challenged me. He made me better. He called me out when I was being selfish. He told me when I was wrong. He loved me enough to tell me the truth, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. Do you have someone who tells you the truth, or do you just have people who enable your nonsense? The first test of true love is conflict. When you fight, and you will fight, oh, you will fight. Do you fight to win, or do you fight to resolve? Today, I see couples fighting like enemies. They attack each other. They keep score. You did this in 2019. You forgot my birthday 3 years ago. They use words as weapons to wound. They want to be right more than they want to be married. Thomas and I had a rule. We wrote it down on a piece of paper on our wedding day. Never go to bed angry. It sounds simple. It is the hardest thing in the world. Sometimes that meant we stayed up until 4 a.m. sitting at the kitchen table, exhausted, eyes burning, drinking coffee, talking it out. We didn't yell. We talked. We listened. We didn't let the sun set on our wrath. Because anger is a weed. If you let it grow overnight, it puts down roots. If you let it grow for a week, it strangles the garden. If you let it grow for a year, it destroys the foundation of the house. Pull the weeds early, even when you are tired, even when you are right, especially when you are right. Being right is cold comfort in an empty bed. This brings me to the second truth, and this is the one you really need to hear. Love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. Feelings are like the weather. Some days it is sunny and warm. Some days it storms. Some days it is cold and gray and miserable. If you base your relationship on how you feel, you will leave the moment the storm comes, and the storm always comes. Life is tragedy. You will get sick. You will lose your job. Your parents will die. You will lose money. The beauty of youth will fade. Thomas got sick when he was 50. Bad sick. It was a dark time. He couldn't work. He couldn't walk. He was in pain constantly. And pain changes a man. He wasn't the charming, strong man I married who could lift me up with one arm. He was a burden. He was angry. He was bitter. I didn't feel in love with him when I was cleaning his bedpan. I didn't feel the fireworks when he was yelling at me because his medication wasn't working. I was tired. I was frustrated. I was lonely. But I loved him. I chose him. Every morning I woke up and I made a choice. I remembered the vow. In sickness and in health. Those aren't just pretty words you say in a white dress to impress your friends. That is a binding contract. That is a blood oath. When the sickness came, I didn't run. I dug my heels in. I chopped the wood. And eventually, the winter passed. He got better. It took 2 years, but he got better. And our love was deeper than before because it had scars. It had been tested in the fire and it didn't melt. That is real intimacy. Intimacy isn't sex. Intimacy is being seen at your absolute worst, your weakest, your ugliest moment, and still being held, still being chosen. You young people are terrified of boredom. You are addicted to dopamine. You think if you aren't doing something exciting every weekend, the relationship is dead. Oh, the spark is gone. We fell out of love. The spark is supposed to go. You cannot live in a bonfire. You would burn to death. The spark is the ignition. It captures your attention. But the spark turns into a coal, a steady, burning, radiant coal that lasts for decades. That coal keeps you warm through the coldest winter. But it doesn't flash, it just glows. I remember sitting on the porch with Thomas for hours on Sunday afternoons. We wouldn't say a word, just watching the rain fall on the fields, listening to the crickets, knowing he was there, reading my book, him whittling a piece of wood. That silence was not empty. It was full. It was heavy with peace. If you cannot sit in silence with your person, you are with the wrong person or you are running from yourself. You use noise to cover up the cracks. You use trips and parties and alcohol and drama to cover up the fact that you don't know how to just be. Stop running. Learn to be bored together. There is a sacredness in the glowing embers of a quiet Tuesday night doing the laundry together. There is holiness in the routine. Now let's talk about the poison. The poison of the grass is greener. Social media has destroyed your ability to be content. It has destroyed your ability to build a home. You look at your phone and you see other couples. They look perfect. They are on vacation in Bali, swimming in waterfalls. He bought her a diamond the size of an egg. She is always makeup ready, looking like a model. And you look at your partner sitting on the couch in sweatpants with a stain on his shirt, eating a pizza, and you think, I settled, I could do better. There is someone better out there. That is the devil whispering in your ear. Those pictures are lies. They are curated fictions. You are comparing your blooper reel to their highlight reel. You don't see them fighting in the hotel room in Bali about who put the charge on the credit card. You don't see the crushing debt they are in to maintain that lifestyle. You don't see the loneliness behind the filtered smiles. Comparison is the thief of joy. The grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. If your relationship is dry and brown, it is because you stopped watering it. You stopped courting her. You stopped thanking him. You stopped listening. You stopped trying. You think the relationship runs on autopilot. It does not. It is a garden. Neglect it for a month and the weeds take over. Neglect it for a year and it dies. Thomas laid bricks for a living, hard, back-breaking work. He came home tired every single day. His hands were rough, calloused, cracked. He didn't have soft words. He wasn't a poet. But every Friday for 40 years he brought me a single yellow rose. It wasn't a dozen red roses. We couldn't afford a dozen. But it was a single yellow rose. It was consistent. It was his way of saying, I see you. I appreciate you. I haven't forgotten you. Consistency is the language of trust. I didn't need a trip to Paris. I needed to know that he would be there on Friday. And he was. Always. Never missed a Friday. Trust is built in drops and lost in buckets. You build trust by doing what you say you will do over and over again for years. You build trust by showing up. You destroy it with one lie, one betrayal. And once the bucket is tipped over, it takes a lifetime to fill it back up. Be careful with trust. It is glass. You can glue it back together, but you will always see the cracks. The light will always refract differently. Don't break the glass. The most dangerous word in a relationship is I. I want this. I need that. I am not happy. My needs aren't being met. Me, me, me. Modern culture tells you to focus on yourself, love yourself first, put yourself first. Garbage, utter garbage. Love is the death of the ego. Love is changing I to we. When you married, when you committed, you stopped being a solo act. You became a team. In a team, you don't score points against each other. If you win an argument and make your partner feel small, you have lost because you hurt the team. You shot a hole in your own boat to prove you were right about where the leak was. Now you are both drowning. You have to learn to serve. I know that word is unpopular today. Serve. It sounds like weakness. It sounds like oppression. It is strength. It is the ultimate strength. I served Thomas. I made sure his clothes were clean. I made sure he had a hot meal. I rubbed his back when it hurt. And he served me. He fixed the roof. He warmed the car up for me in the winter. He took care of the heavy lifting. We competed to see who could give more. When both people are trying to give, nobody is empty. When both people are trying to take, everyone starves. Today, everyone is a taker. What can you do for me? And so everyone is hungry. Let me tell you about forgiveness. You are going to get hurt. If you let anyone close enough to your heart, they will eventually bruise it. That is the risk of love. To love is to be vulnerable. Maybe they say something cruel in the heat of the moment. Maybe they forget an anniversary. Maybe they make a bad financial decision. You have a choice. You can hold on to that hurt like a glowing coal, planning to throw it back at them next time. But do you know what happens? You burn your own hand. Unforgiveness poisons the vessel that holds it. You have to let it go. Not because they deserve it, they might not, but because you deserve peace. Thomas wasn't perfect. He made mistakes. I made mistakes. I wasn't always easy to live with. I can be sharp, but we had a rule. Keep short accounts. Don't let the debt pile up. Forgive quickly. Reset the score to 0 every morning. Love keeps no record of wrongs. If you are keeping a list, a mental spreadsheet of everything he did wrong since 2015, you are not in a relationship, you are in a courtroom, and nobody finds intimacy in a courtroom. You cannot hug someone with your arms crossed. Drop the list, burn the list. I want to speak to the men for a moment. Thomas always said something that stuck with me. He said, "Hattie, a woman is like a thermometer. She reflects the temperature of the house, but the man is the thermostat. He sets the temperature. If your wife is cold, if she is distant, if she is nagging, check the thermostat. Are you leading with love? Are you stable? Are you safe? A woman blooms when she feels safe. When she knows you would die for her, she will live for you. She will soften. But if you are shaky, if you are a child, if you are playing video games while she carries the weight of the bills and the kids in the house, she will wither. She will become hard. And a hard woman is a woman who has had to protect herself because you didn't. Be the rock, not the tyrant. The rock, the place where she can rest her head and close her eyes and know that everything will be okay. And to the women, listen to me. Stop trying to change him. You marry a man, not a renovation project. You cannot nag a man into greatness. You cannot criticize him into being a hero. Men run on respect. It is their fuel. It is their oxygen. If you disrespect him, if you belittle him, especially in front of others or in front of the children, you cut his legs off. He will disconnect. He will go into his cave. He will stop trying. He will find respect somewhere else, maybe at work or worse, in the arms of someone else who thinks he is wonderful. Find the gold in him. Praise the things he does right, even the small things. Thank you for fixing the sink. I appreciate how hard you work for us. Watch him grow. A man will walk through fire for a woman who believes in him. Be his cheerleader, not his mother. He already has a mother. He needs a lover and a partner. There were times I wanted to leave. I won't lie to you. Year 7 was hard. Year 20 was harder. The kids were teenagers. Money was tight. We were tired. We just looked at each other and felt nothing, just exhaustion. It would have been easy to walk away. We grew apart, people say, but we didn't walk away. We stayed. We remembered the covenant. And do you know what? Year 25 was the best year of our lives. If we had quit at year 20, we would have missed the harvest. We would have missed the sweetness of growing old together. You have to push through the dip. The dip is where the weak give up. The dip is where the strong are forged. I lost Thomas 10 years ago. The cancer came back, and this time the winter didn't pass. I held his hand as he took his last breath. The house is quiet now. Too quiet. I still make coffee for 2 sometimes out of habit. I pour a cup for him and set it on the table. I look at his empty chair. The leather is worn where he used to sit, and I talk to him. I tell him about the grandkids. I tell him about the garden. I miss his snoring. Can you believe that? I miss the thing that used to annoy me the most. I would give anything to hear that freight train one more time, because it meant he was there. It meant he was alive. It meant I wasn't alone. You don't realize what you have until it is gone. You are taking your person for granted. You are looking at your phone while they are talking to you about their day. You are rolling your eyes because they told the same joke for the 100th time. You are complaining about their socks on the floor. Stop. Put the phone down. Look at them. Really look at them. Memorize the lines in their face. Memorize the color of their eyes. Hold their hand. Feel the warmth of it. One day, that hand will be cold. One day, that chair will be empty. One day, you will be the only one left in the house, listening to the clock tick, and you would give everything you own, every dollar, every follower, every ounce of success for just 5 more minutes of that boring, messy, imperfect life. Cherish what you have. Fight for it. Don't throw it away because it is broken. Fix it. We are the generation that fixed things. We darned socks. We repaired toasters. We glued vases back together. We didn't just buy a new one because it had a scratch. Apply that to your heart. Apply that to your marriage. If the fire is low, add wood. Don't go looking for a new fireplace. The new fireplace will eventually get cold too if you don't know how to tend it. Become a master of the fire. You ask me the secret to a 64-year marriage? It is simple. Only 2 things: commitment and sense of humor. You have to be committed to the covenant, not the mood. You have to decide that divorce is not an option on the table. When you take the exit off the map, you force yourself to find a way through the detour, and you have to be able to laugh. Laugh at the absurdity of life. Laugh when things go wrong. Laugh at yourself. Laughter is the shock absorber of life. If you can laugh together, you can survive anything. Thomas and I laughed until the very end, even in the hospital, even when we knew it was time. He held my hand, weak as a bird, and cracked a joke about the hospital jello. And I laughed. I laughed through my tears. That is victory. That is a life well lived. So go home. Put down the phone. Look your partner in the eye. Apologize for being selfish. Thank them for staying. And start chopping the wood. The winter is always coming. But if you tend the fire, you will be warm. You will be safe. You will be loved. And that, my dears, is the only thing that matters in the end. Everything else, career, money, fame, likes, is just dust. It blows away in the wind. Love. Love is the only thing we take with us. Don't leave empty-handed. I am Miss Hattie. I have lived 104 years. I have loved one man, and I have no regrets. Now go. Create a love that is worth remembering.